Hello, my name is Ross, and in this video I'm going to show you the visual logging feature of Unreal Engine and how it helped me debug a problem with my game's character controller. Visual logging is a feature where you can instrument your C++ code with log statements. However, instead of logging text, you log shapes. As you can see here in this code, I've added a number of log lines to my character's movement input. So this UE vlog capsule, UE CV log location, etc. These get recorded frame by frame into a timeline, which you can view in the Unreal Engine editor after a gameplay session. This is super helpful for debugging complex spatial gameplay systems like movement or AI. Let me hop into the game and show you. First, I open up the Visual Logger window. I can find this under Window, Developer Tools, and Visual Logger. I've got this dock to the bottom of the screen here. Next, I hit the Start Recording button, and then I go ahead to the top here and hit the Play button to simulate the game. As you can see, that at the bottom, the player controller track is filling up with samples. All right. So let's start collecting that data. I'll just move around a bit here. And I've recently implemented falling. So if I do this, looks like falling works. Let's try falling in a different way here. Oh, whoops. Yeah, that doesn't quite look right. I think that's a bug. We shouldn't be stuck in the wall like this and be kind of sliding down. Let's stop the game and see what happened. Now we get to see visual logging in action. So, yeah, let's zoom in here. So that this green capsule here is the location of the player's collision frame that I'm logging, each of the frames. Underneath, you'll also see that there's, let's see, we spent a long time at the front here. You'll also see that there's this ground target that gets generated here, and there's a whole bunch of other widgets that I'm logging. That ground target is the 2D position that the movement component uses and will try to move towards during the fall. So let's see what happened on the first fall here. All right. Go ahead and look at that top thing here. You can see that it's in the center of the block, which is what we want. We want that, that capsule to be moving towards the center of the block. So now that we know what we're looking for, let's check that second fall. So I can go ahead and scrub through here. I go up the ladder again. And now this is the point where we go to fall off. Let's go back to the perspective again. And let's watch that fall happen. Yeah, so this is where we get stuck. That ground target looks like it's in kind of the wrong place. Let's go look at the top view to see what's happening. Oh. Yeah, that looks off there. So it looks like our location is here, but the ground target is back in the block that it left from. So this is something that would have taken ages to figure out with just text logging, but with visual logging, we can immediately see something that is amiss. I'll spare you the time that I spent banging my head against the wall figuring out this bug, and tell you that I computed some bounding box stuff incorrectly. So let's just go ahead and fix that. Okay. I'll switch back over to the editor here, recompile that C code. Or C++ code, rather. All right, looks like the compile is complete. Let's go ahead and clear the timeline again, and let's hop into the game again. All right. We'll go ahead and do that fall. Perfect. Looks like it's working just right. Let's just pop into the logs to make sure. Gotta zoom back in. And yep, that ground target is going exactly right in the middle there and is hitting that target. Perfect. Clipped out of the camera there. So yeah, that's visual logging. And as you can see when I go to scrub back through the timeline here, there's a bunch of other information that I'm collecting. And so like when I go to walk between things, I can see each of the different blocks that it thinks that it's on, as well as like the ground target of the next position and the block that it's coming from, which are all different aspects that the movement controller uses to figure out that overall fluid motion that happens inside of the game. And we can even see some of the more complex stuff of when we go to climb up the ladder here, there's this constant collision trace that I'm doing to check for being able to do that final climb up to the top. So we can see can climb up as we're going up is no, 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 no. And then finally we get a yes response, and then we're able to go all the way to the top. So again, all these things that would have been super hard to see in just a textual format, but very easy to see with this data visualization. And this is just few lines of code that I'm sprinkling in C++, just as easy as doing a log statement. So I hope this gives you a sense of how visual logging can help make complex game systems easier to understand. It's great for debugging, and it's a terrific tool to show someone how your code works. Hope you found it interesting. Thanks for watching. Bye.